Justin, last thing we have here in the news is Nibel, as I know him, or at Nibelian on Twitter, has chosen to delete their account. If you don't know, Nibel was a Twitter account that tweeted video game news and other information, so like reviews. He'd post, or they would post. I don't know who they are really. They'd post like review scores and say like here's what's scoring where and whatever, kind of what we do in our Metacritic roundup. And they had a solid following of several 100,000 people. And today they just called it quits. Here is they posted a statement on Twitter, and a bigger statement on Patreon for their Patreon subscribers, which I think they launched their Patreon earlier this year or maybe late last year. It hadn't been around for very long. But this is the statement from Patreon. Today, I will move on from both Twitter and Patreon. There won't be any games coverage from me on either platform. I've learned a lot in a short period of time. Unfortunately, I was not able to create an interesting and sustainable Patreon, which is evident in the number of patrons stagnating during the first weekend and the first of many pledges being deleted during the first week. I have miscalculated the value of my Twitter activity and realized that it is nothing worth supporting by itself for the vast majority of people. It is not me who is popular, but it is that my work is useful. It is not valuable by itself, but a comfortable time saver. And I get that now. I was unable to create a reliable revenue stream, but I'm still happy I gave it a shot. And I want to thank everyone on here who gave me a shot as well. I'll look into refunds for recent payments, have already deactivated the billing, and will likely close this page this week. The Discord server is obviously not coming either. It is what it is. Then there's the elephant in the room, which is the platform itself. I don't think that Twitter has yet experienced good leadership, and this trend will not change with Musk either. I do not trust the platform. I do not trust Musk and his seemingly infinite immaturity. I do not think Twitter will fall apart instantly, but that it could die a slow death. Why waste more time? Anyway, I guess that's it. The last text I'm writing here. I guess I'll have less staying power than a lettuce as well. Farewell, Nibel. P.S. The Twitter account will stay up so nobody can cause the issue with the handle, at least for now. So there you go. Nibel's gone. It's a shame, really. I know that I don't think you followed them or really knew who they were. But I followed them and I got a lot out of them. Basically, like it was just quick hit news, right? Of like some of the biggest headlines of the week that they would tweet out as they sort of happened. And what was cool is they would link to articles. They would link to articles that were like writing about it and everything, and would source the actual articles themselves. But they never really. Apparently, it seemed like they never really were able to grab like any sort of monetization efforts with both hands, if that makes any sort of sense. But what do you think?
I think it just goes to show you that trying to make this stuff profitable, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, anything really, you're relying on so many other things for your income and your revenue. Like, I think let's just use YouTube for example. I think YouTube's a great website. I think it's a great platform, but when your livelihood is based around something you don't own, they can change things at a drop of a hat. I think Twitter, like trying to get a following on Twitter is great. And I think if you have one, that's great, but that doesn't automatically translate to dollars, to being sustainable, to living off of that. Patreons are good, but not everyone wants to pay for Patreons, even if they like someone. There's so many people I listen to and engage with that have Patreons that I don't purchase that for, and it's not like a personal thing. It's just, I don't have enough time to watch all the content to begin with. So then you add that on top of it. And I get it's about supporting people, but it is just one of those hard things that, so many people have these dreams about being able to like be full-time content creators and things like that. But the reality of it is it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, and it doesn't get you a lot of money. So being able to do this kind of stuff and great content, like it seems like Nibel had, it just doesn't result in making it a good job for these people to keep doing. And I'm sure this person will find success wherever they are after this. And it's just unfortunate that, someone with a following like them, do you know how many people they had on Twitter? How many followers?
Let me take a look. I don't know if their account is still up.
Just because like someone who
500,000.
Yeah, I mean that's a significant number.
Yes.
Like that's not like a little thing. And for everyone to watch, I'm fascinated with like the Mr. Beasts of the world and how they are turning community into business. How their first thing was about getting people to follow them, and now they have a business in Mr. Beast Burger and all this merch and other stuff that they created once they had their following. And like, I think he's looking to get a $1.5 billion valuation for all of the Mr. Beast properties and companies and stuff like that. That is amazing. That is incredible success. It shows you what hard work can lead to, but like that is the outlier. And that is not the thing that is going to happen for everyone. It's just really rough. I mean, this stuff is great. I love doing what we do. I wish we could make $1.5 billion doing this, and like that would change my life a little bit. But it's just not the reality of it a lot of the times.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, I get it. We have a Patreon, right, that we plug, and I'm not saying that we are. I don't know. Like we do a lot of work for this show, right? And there is no way to argue that this is anything other than a labor of love and passion for you and me, right? I mean, there are other reasons why we do this, sure, but at the end of the day, like this is a labor of love because we like talking about video games. We like talking about the news with each other and hearing what we each have to say about this, like. Because if we had to do this for money, we wouldn't have done 116 episodes, right? It's just like it's not fruitful in that way. It's disappointing to see someone like Nibel, I don't really know how to pronounce it, call it quits, especially because the way they say it kind of breaks my heart about like how did they word it? Where they said like I overestimated. I've miscalculated the value of my Twitter activity and realized that it is nothing worth supporting by itself, and for the vast majority of people, right? Like it was cool for me personally to see like, oh, here's the headline, right? But I'm also someone who's plugged in, right? Who is able to sniff out like what are the big stories of the day, of the week, whatever. I have the time to do that, whereas someone who's just, trying to keep up with games media, might use someone like Nibel as just the big headline stuff, right? As opposed to just the minutia details of what different studios are talking about and doing day to day. But yeah, this is just a bummer for me. There's not really much to say about this other than like, I do not think that Nibel will be the last person who's dipping out because of reasons like this. And I think with the whole Elon Musk takeover too, like with him being the CEO and everything now, I get it. I definitely get it. So we'll see.